have all throughout our site electric, so we can run 30 amp, 50 amp, whatever. So we can run this on shore power, but if we want to move it around the site where we don't have power, or we want to rent it to somebody up on the mountain, it's got 2 onboard generators. Up top you'll see the satellite dish. It's all a computer and everything is enclosed in here. It looks really complicated. It literally takes 3 minutes to turn on, probably less. You go on. It takes longer to set the outriggers. It's rated all weather. We've had it out in the middle of freaking snowstorms and blizzards. It can get wet.
So what do you have? Where do you do your audio or video? Where do you... Oh, okay.
There's a computer in here.
Okay, gotcha.
So you can plug this in. You can do, like for sponsors, if you're using the computer side, you can subdivide the screen. So we could do our own video in the middle. We could do on this panel, like, thank you, Lisa Burridge Real Estate. On the bottom, we could subdivide that and say, brought to you by Wyoming Medical Center, State Farm Insurance. You can make this screen however you want. You can't do that during, if you're watching TV or a DVD, just on the computer function.
So you roll this in on movie night in front of the stage, and
It takes about less than 10 minutes to set up. And
where does the sound come from?
So it's got onboard sound, and then what we did is, if I were to do this again, I'd ask them to beef up the onboard sound, but then we do auxiliary sound.
Right.
With on the stage, we put 2 more big.
Those were those JBLs I saw in your storage room.
Yep.
So we would have, hypothetically, if we were to do that, we've got a plug and play on our stage, so we could just plug and play into the sound and run it from the board.
Your techie people would come back here and they would plug in a thing to
Yep.
the receiver that would run to your other port.
Yep.
And it would be instantaneous.
And it operates off of, you have generators as backup?
We do. They're really quiet, but it's like, why even have that noise when we have this giant thing and we just plug the sumbitch in? So we have what's called a spider box. So it's just a yellow, I think $800 or something. And each one of these has a plug that's coming. So off this, we unplug it from the generator, and it's all the plugs that take this. We put it in the spider box. The spider box takes that 30 amp that goes to our shore power 30 amp, and we're up and running. This runs on a little battery. Come up here, it's just like a little elevator kit or crane kit. And this thing goes up to 17, not it goes up 17, but the top of the thing will be at 17 feet in the air. You can lower it, and we're like, hey, you know what? I didn't park it perfectly straight, a little to the left, and it starts moving this way, so you can angle it. It'll turn all the way 90 degrees to face you.
What? How much did you pay for this?
100 grand.
What's the company?
Huh?
What's the company?
Oh, I can get you the contact information.
Okay.
I think it's called Insane Impact. So we looked at a couple different quotes, and they were the most favorable, and they could meet our timeline. We had one where we were going to rent it from them, and we were like, I don't know, 3 months out or something. And to their credit, we said, if we order this thing, like, we're ordering it for this specific event. We're not going to waste $6 grand renting it from you, and you miss the event. So they said, if we can't deliver this, we'll drive out from Iowa just for your event, and then we'll drive back and then bring your trailer back.
And
so they didn't get it in time, so they drove out, gave us a rental of this, drove it back, and then like 10 days later came back with our permanent one.
And you chose this over the screen?
In a fucking heartbeat, because you're gonna drop 35 grand on a screen and it's not even gonna work. This thing will last for, it's warranted to like the modulars or whatever. He was like, Kevin, you could turn this on and run it for like 7 years without turning it off, and those things are gonna last. So it's like, you run it for like an hour and a half a week or 2 hours a week, like this thing will last forever. Can't remember what the warranty is. We've had it for a year and a half, never had a problem, had it out in blizzards. Why we really like it.
And you could get sponsorships for certain nights to pay for it.
So we actually had Ford Motor Company wanted to sponsor it, but they wanted a longer term than we wanted. They wanted to do, like, I can't even remember what it was. We wanted a 3-year term max, and they wanted they wanted to do $20,000 a year for 5 years, and we held back just because, not that we don't want the money, but we were like, we desperately need an injection of large capital right now for operations. In 5 years, I don't need $20,000. We have other bigger donors that this is our last like naming right thing. So we're like, you know what, we're gonna pass, and they opted to do like a event sponsorship with those funds regardless. But what you do is you get a sponsor for it. It's just a threaded black pipe that comes out to about here, one on top, one on the bottom, and then you get those banners.
It's a long banner, yep.
And you just put, you know, built Ford Tough, Ford Motor Company. What I like about it is these things are rated, not that we've ever had a problem, but one of the concerns was, oh my God, it's like an LED TV, somebody's gonna break it. He told us, and I actually believe him because we've been through it, but he was like, this guy that sells them, they started as a rental company for events, and they just travel the entire country. They have like 30 of these, even bigger, and they were like, they're in Phoenix one day. How I did this is, like I told you, I went to St. Louis. We were looking at this. I drove down to an event in Denver for like the Kentucky Derby with my wife and kids, and we looked at it at night, and we pulled up, and it's just in the middle of this freaking green soccer field or something, and there's this giant TV. I mean, the picture's like you're watching at home. And I left, and I said, I called them the next week, and I was like, start building ours. But what's cool is, if you ever have a problem with this, it comes with like a little kit. Let me see if I can find one that's to pop out. So each one is like its own little like 48-inch TV or whatever, just turned on its side, and then in it are like 6 or 8 of these things. So you get a pack. If one of these little pixels goes out, it'll still show fine, but if it bugs you, you take it out, you get a kit of like 12 or 15 of these, and it's literally just magnets and like a little computer receiver, and you pop it right back in, and you send these back to him, and they fix it and send you some more. So it looks, I know it looks really complicated, and when we first got it, we were like, oh my God, we're never gonna be able to figure out how to use this because I'm not very tech smart. All it is the main power for this whole thing comes up in this tube, and then you can see the wires. It comes up, and really it only supplies power and like AV or Cat 5 or whatever you call that shit to this one, and then these just all daisy chain
over. Yep.
This main one.
Yep.
So we had a problem when we like the second week into it, and that's why I would recommend this company, because the owner of it, like, we had an issue where like one of these got pinched or something. They said, Kevin, take care of it. We know what's wrong with it. One of these is crimped. Call your electrician, have him run a new one, send me the bill. It was minimal. It was like $200 or whatever.
Right.
It was taken care of. We had an issue with the speakers. We said, we're disappointed. We thought they were going to be louder. He overnighted. He spent more probably on overnighting the FedEx to us. Like the next day we had a $1,000 sound system, and he was like, I want to make sure it's right. It was the customer service that got me. You have all of their cell phone numbers for all the techs that travel the country, so if we ever have a problem, I have like 5, and I'm like, hey Brad, I need your help, what am I doing? So we had one instance where, and this is where I got more comfortable with it, like one of these sections, it's set off like, that top one is there's 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one was off. And it was like a problem with one of these. And that's where I figured out the daisy chain thing. He was like, what you want to do is just, you get like a supply kit of extra parts. So I ran like a jumper from this one to that one, and it all worked. So
yep.
That's where I got more comfortable. And then what's cool is, sorry, I'm not really in shape. What's cool is we use this not only to enhance our sponsorship. So somebody says, hey Kevin, I want to sponsor your thing at $30,000. Well, now my portfolio of what do I get out of it for State Farm insurance or whatever, I'm like, I'm going to show before and after the movie, I'm going to show your commercials and your brand. You're going to have your naming on the side of it. You don't even have to do that to a main donor. That could be for every event. You can put it up. This is a showstopper. Everybody comes and looks at this thing because nobody really sees them. Then we can rent it out. We can rent it at our own facility, like this religious concert. They're doing it. We're charging them $2,000 for the day just for this thing. We can take it up to a festival on the mountain. It's got generators. Then really one of the best things is the son of a bitch that owns this company, he makes me offers at least once a month. Can I rent that back from you? I'll give you $4,000. I need to rent it from the week. I got a show down in Vegas, and I've got 30 of these things, and they're all booked up. But I can go make $10,000 at the show. I'll give you $3,500.
How long does it take to make? Did it take from when you ordered it? What's the process?
I think it was like 2 months.
Okay.
They missed our date
Right.
by like 10 days, but they brought out the other one. So.